Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am Paranormal Ripples, aka Ray, but you already know that if you've been here a while. And tonight I'm joined by Shay.
Hello, everybody. How's your day going? Yeah, new
Um,
intro.
yeah, and the new Secrets of the Stars intro. And if you notice, I kept that alien in it from the main intro, which is kind of crazy. But you're not here just for the snazzy little trailer intro or whatever you want to call it, everyone. You're here for odds and facts, and we're going to be talking about some tonight. Mainly, we're going to be talking about pulsars, magnetars, and lost continents as you could read by the description. And talking about magnetars and pulsars, we were talking about stuff off camera, weren't we? And about this Elon Musk rocket fuel thing with SpaceX. So before we delve right into the topic, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm nearly at 2,000 subscribers, so come on, guys, let's get there. And then, obviously, let's get this is all about your channel as well, as much as mine. Anything you want us to talk about, leave in the comments, all that good stuff. But yeah, back on the topic. Like I said, we were talking off camera earlier, and about SpaceX and Elon Musk. And there was this phenomena that happened over in some of England, about that has been put down or attributed to leftover rocket fuel. But we've got a problem with that, ain't we, Shay?
Indeed, we do.
Because me and Shay have been and John and that when and that and other members in the community like Cam have all said that it can't be can't be left like it can't be leftover rocket fuel, because why is that, Shay?
Well, for rocket fuel to stay ignited, it would have to have a constant combustion rate. And I will be back 1 second. My mother needs me.
All right, bro.
Right. I'll let you explain it, because obviously you can. I hope you can remember what I said.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I'll be back.
But yeah, the combustion they need a constant combustion source and like heat to keep it ignited in the atmosphere. So the way it was done and the way the video shows you, I'll try and get a video up now of the phenomena that people have seen. Hang on. I'll get you something. Hang on. Let me find this for you.
I've returned, everyone.
Welcome back.
And I see you. So, what have you informed them?
I've said that obviously, like I said, it needs a combustion and heat source, like to sustain itself in the thingy, right? But as you can see, right?
And obviously, if you want me to give a somewhat more detailed explanation, feel free to ask, and I will provide.
But Nick, if you feel free now if you want, because I've got a picture here. Look, this is what was caught.
So obviously, for that to be rocket fuel from supposedly Florida, it would have had to have a constant mixture of, no, I believe it's nitrogen and hydrogen. Yet the amount of nitrogen and hydrogen that rockets burn within that much of a short period of time, that would have run out of fuel by the time it had reached about halfway across the, is it the Atlantic Ocean? Or is it the Pacific? Yeah, the Atlantic Ocean. By the time it would have reached us, it would have lost all of its fuel and would no longer be alight. And due to how heavy it is, it would have gone straight into the ocean.
Yeah. And I don't remember rocket fuel looking like that. Leftover rocket fuel looking like a spiral.
Yeah. And it has been scientifically proven, you can even Google this, people, that I don't know how often it is, but I do know it can happen. Magnetars and pulsars, the giant death rays of space, can actually be visible by the naked eye during specific periods of time.
Yeah. Right. This is one of the videos I saw. Hello, John.
Hello, John.
This is, of course, one of the videos that I saw at the time. Obviously, there's not going to be any audio to it because I've put it on mute. But watch this and tell me that this ain't because this ain't rocket fuel. You're right, though, John. Yeah. Look at it. Look.
What rocket fuel burns in that pattern?
Look at it.
Because obviously, if you Google a rocket taking off, it doesn't make a spiral pattern.
No. It's apparently frozen fuel as well.
If it had for it to have frozen, it would have had to have exited the Earth's atmosphere, and by then it wouldn't have any fuel or ignition left.
No. John just said that. Hey, the rocket went into spin, hence the swirls.
Still, I've watched multiple videos on failed rocket launches, and even when they go into a spin at such high altitudes, they don't look nearly as close nor as large as that.
And this was quote in Liverpool on the night. Look. And I don't know how you can see, but look how intricate the swirl is. Look. Yeah, that's fine, John. Link us a video if you want, bro. But yeah, Shay come up with the idea that it could be a magnetar, didn't you? Instead of
or
pulsar.
Yeah, because obviously you Googled it and a pulsar would be spinning too quickly to create that swirl unless you have the strongest camera manufactured by man, which is only given by the big boys, NASA.
Indeed. So, thinking of it, let them know why you thought it was a magnetar again, Shay.
Right, we'll do magnetars first. So obviously, so could you perchance repeat the question?
Yeah, of course I can, bro. I said I could let him know why you thought it was a magnetar instead of the fuel.
Well, magnetars, obviously, if you Google a picture of a magnetar, it has a somewhat similar appearance. Now, I'm not saying it has an exact appearance, it has a similar appearance.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, with magnetars, they're spinning at what? The Wikipedia page does actually tell me. Did not want that.
Yes, they are saying a SpaceX launch. Bro. Thing is, though, how many, not being respectful, how many times have we heard this bullshit where they want to try and cover shit up?
Mm,
Not saying they could say that they are wrong, and it is what, and it could be something like what Shay's saying. They want to say try and cover it up, don't they? Because if they come out and say, "Oh, it was a magnetar," and a lot of people have,
and obviously,
yeah, feel free, John. Yeah, I think magnetars spin out like a ridiculous amount of speed, don't they? If I remember correctly. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, John.
Just couldn't be bothered typing, it was doing me fucking head in. It's because there's a delay between the typing and you replying to the comment. I'm like, yeah, I could have had fucking 2 conversations by the time you've replied.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll fucking.
I'll be at 6 by the time I get my new internet in.
I turned the news on the other day and they were on about it. It was a rocket launch, so I'm only going based off what I've seen. I haven't really obviously deeped it that much.
Yeah. But then again, though, you'd think it's the US government. I mean, how many times have they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you can really never be too sure. Obviously, no, this does not mean the FBI can come knocking at my door.
Shay, what was that knock?
It wasn't me, I swear.
FBI, open up!
Name.
No, but honestly, like, yeah, they been like trying to go incredibly fast, and they like rotate like every like 1 point something seconds to like 10 seconds, don't they? Magnetars, and like it's like ridiculous. Can you imagine that though? I'm not even, and they don't tell you. I know they like the uproar. If they did come out and say, "Oh yeah, we got everyone. It wasn't that. It was a magnetar." Everyone would start panicking like fuck, wouldn't they?
No, because if there's a magnetar that close to the Earth, that would not be very good.
No.
And magnetars are usually dying stars. Which we all know what happens when a dying star goes kabang.
Yeah. We don't see it in our night sky.
Funnily enough, if you go to the darkest point on Earth, you can actually see, if you have a strong enough, obviously, thing.
Telescope.
You can actually see dying stars.
Out. Yeah, you can actually see the lights going out, can't you, basically? But it's crazy though to think, because we were talking about pulsars as well, everyone. In a second. But John's gone. That pulsars and magnetars, like, Shay said are completely linear enough on this thing because magnetars are dying stars. Pulsars spin around, which are basically like two what are they? Two.
So a pulsar
Oh,
is two stars that have gotten just close enough to where they start utilizing each other's gravitational field to start rapidly spinning, which obviously then shoots off the beams of pure radiation.
Yeah, and if you know, that's what became our sun.
Funnily enough, if our sun actually came from pulsars, we would be cooked. Because obviously,
they're saying our sun can turn into a white dwarf, don't they? Soon, or like after before it before it goes into its final phase, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Which is nuts even to think about. It's the sun turning into a white dwarf star.
Yeah.
Oh, no shades this here.
Technical difficulties, everyone.
Yeah, technical difficulties. It's that magnetar. It's gone outside his house.
The FBI have caught him.
The FBI know they were telling the truth, and they're like, "Shit, we got to stop him. This kid knows too much. This kid knows it all. He knows too much." Yeah, we did.
There he is.
Hello, Shay.
Yeah, I accidentally pressed the wrong button.
There he isn't.
Yeah, no, I was trying to press the more button because obviously it said there was comment things, but obviously as I went to press it, I bloody pressed leave.
Shay? No, there he
Yes.
is. There he is.
Was he actually showing his face?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, isn't it?
It's mental.
I was debating if I should have done it, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. I ain't give him a little preview in a while.
He's getting you ready for Saturday on his channel, folks. But honestly, no, I was saying, it's crazy to think though that they don't want you to know everything, and yet there's supposed to be more transparency now between the NASA because they're supposed to be like after the things come out about UAPs in it and everything and UFOs. You'd think that they would be more transparent, but it's like they still want to hide shit.
Then again, though, I mean, how long have the United States government been doing that? It's like you need to think Roswell, for example. Is it Roswell?
Yeah. Yeah. Roswell, yeah. When they decided to take a fucking trip out to New Mexico, pick up the UFO and take it. If I took a trip to New Mexico for a UFO back then, I'd been called a fucking nutty professor.
Yeah. I mean, even nowadays, you still get called a nutty professor.
Yeah.
Seems John's left us.
I haven't. I'm just changing my jump.
All right, gotcha. He just disappeared.
Yeah. No, I know what he's doing. He's got he's got to jump in there saying the truth is out there. I know I'm taking the piss, but yeah, so going back to pulsars and magnetars, obviously. Do you think our solar system has one, Shay, or two around knocking about?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, you need to think. Well, maybe not our solar system, because I mean, if you think a pulsar is two blue suns. I don't know what the blue ones are. I just know them as suns. But they're two blue stars rapidly spinning around each other. I think there's definitely one in, like, there's definitely one close to us, but not exactly near us, if that makes sense.
No.
So you think in another universe?
Yeah.
Not universe, but galaxy. Could be in
100%.
the galaxy that was it could be from the galaxy even that what's the name come from, that Muamua. They also have to come from Andromeda.
Yeah. I mean,
That's the
it's
closest you get into a face reveal.
well, we've already seen your face, John.
Yeah, well, his viewers haven't, so
Yeah, well, we can confirm he's a very handsome man.
To be fair, I did say when you hit a K, I was going to do a face reveal.
Oh, you still haven't.
I know.
Where is it?
No, he's waiting till I get to the 2K. Look,
there. That's all you're getting. You had a little glimpse. Glimpse.
Give me a glimpsey. No, but honestly, I just about to say that, and I tried to lost on my drain. Oh, fuck's sake! I'm fair. I'm the fucking FBI. I've been tampering with my fucking memory. Joking, everyone. They don't tamper with memories. They fucking change them. But honestly, is there anything else you want to add? Say? Right.
Well,
like, what would the dangers be if they both went kaboom, basically?
Well, if eventually the two suns of a pulsar meet, then obviously they'd both go supernova. But it wouldn't just be a single supernova, it would be equivalent to 4 supernovas. Because if you think they're constantly rotating each other quicker than the sun's spinning. And if you think the sun has a strong enough magnetic field to even pull your Pluto. So obviously you need to think if
Pluto
it has.
She's a sexy bitch.
Fuck's sake. Obviously,
no, I prefer Neptune.
You need to think it's two suns rotating around each other. So obviously, if they both collide, then it wouldn't be very good. With magnetars, on the other hand,
if two suns colliding, if two suns collide, everyone, then we know then we know the trouble. The dad didn't love him enough, and he wants him to fight for his love. I'm joking.
That's just an average Sunday night. What do you mean?
I was going to say, I may as well just turn this to all offences. Sending shots at the FBI, sending shots at the government. People are catching strays for no reason.
Well, really, 4 supernovas though. But that's, if you don't know what those supernovas is, everyone just go and look it up because that's nuts.
Mm.
And 4 of them. Yeah, that sounds like a nice name for a band. 4 supernovas, but yeah,
It actually does, to be fair.
not really. Yeah,
Well, no, you think the 4 supernovas,
it actually does.
but that's besides the point.
There you go.
Because as well with pulsars, pulsars, they are
Mm,
constantly launching off beams of radiation.
mm-hmm.
Like giant beams of radiation. So obviously you need to think, if they do collide,
Yeah.
the amount of radiation they're producing would be well enough, strong enough to quite literally Alt F4 the Earth.
Yeah.
So obviously, you never really want to rule out the possibility that if hopefully, if something like that does happen, we're just far enough that it won't actually affect us. But worst comes to worst,
True.
it does affect us. Well, that would not be very nice. I would not like to become a chicken nugget.
No. No, I'd rather wait till we're in space and on another planet before shit like that goes on this planet.
Yeah.
Oh.
And there's just John sitting there
But then
quietly.
again,
Yeah, I'm just listening to you.
John's just letting you talk. What you're on
Yeah,
about.
I'm just letting you do your thing. I'm just taking in what you say.
Fair enough.
For once, I don't actually have a clue in what you're on about.
Basically, 2 glowy orbs shooting off big beams of no juice.
Right, okay.
And if the 2 glowy orbs connect, the beams of no juice are strong enough to make us turn to dust. We basically get Thanos snapped.
Right. I get you now.
Yeah. And we wouldn't even have a chance to say anything. It just happened so quickly that we'd be like, we wouldn't even get a word out. It would be like instant.
Mm.
We just open the door, just get ready to say good morning, and just before we get the kids to say, we're gone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to be fair, it takes 8 minutes for light to travel to the Earth. And
It takes me 8 minutes just to open my fucking front door.
So obviously, if you think how far the closest pulsar is, it would probably take around an hour before quite literally shit hit the fan.
Well, I'd probably be there watching a fucking match of the day or something, getting ready to watch the fucking highlights on the fucking football, and then all of a sudden, I will never know what happened in tonight's game.
Nor will they.
Nor will anyone.
No one will ever know.
And I'd be like, I'd be meeting up with everyone in up there, and I'd be like, you're gonna have to finish the match on this fluffy cloud.
Hang on.
But yeah. All right, bro.
I think I'm sorted. Oh, hang on. Yeah, we're sorted.
So, switching gears or switching from space dust to a fucking Earth fucking gold. we've got something interesting about lost continents now. First one, a lost continent has been discovered under Antarctica, which they've been talking about for years, and it has proved that they're essentially linked to India and Australia, when all the continents were doing like all one big bloody bulk.
Yeah.
You know, it was all like euthanasia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? UNH, you know that fucking big fucking
Yeah.
Pangea. That's it, not Pan. You know what I mean? Pangea. Right. The discovery of fragments of an ancient continent deep beneath the surface of Antarctica has left scientists shocked because the data was revealed that the continent has been collected from a gravity mapping satellite that has been out of service since 2013. So basically they're saying, yeah, that's fine, Daniel. Take care, mate.
Take care, Daniel.
Yeah. Take care, bro.
So yeah, so a subsection of the supercontinent Pangea, Antarctica was part of Gondwana, and it was basically Antarctica, this continent, India, and Australia.
Mm.
And basically, Gondwana started to break up over 180 million years ago to form India, Australia, and Antarctica, and it was which threw them to their kind of locations, right? So they found these ancient continental plates lying a mile under not only Antarctica but also Australia and India, proving that East Antarctica and the two countries were once joined together, but they were not found under West Antarctica. So the west side of Antarctica never had these ancient plates and that, but the east section does.
That's odd.
So does that mean that the west section was saying that east side was the best or west side was the best?
Well, you don't want to get caught saying that in America.
Yeah. It's a good job we're not in America.
Yeah, true. Well, I don't think you'd want to get caught saying that in London.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was Staines, weren't it? Staines massive, weren't it, when that film was? But yeah, in East Antarctica we see an exciting mosaic of geological features that reveal fundamental similarities and differences between the crust beneath Antarctica and other continents. It was joined to until 160 million years ago. The discovery of this ancient continent under Antarctica reveals it looked like millions of years ago, and how its geology affects the ice sheet on the cold continent. Scientists now aim to understand how the current continent of Antarctica might respond to the changing climate. So
that's strange.
It is, isn't it?
Yo. But it's at a specific point in Antarctica. It's not like the whole of Antarctica. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then this is where it also gets crazy. A team of international scientists, YouTube, say that which was led by our British Antarctic Survey. The British Antarctic Survey showed what lies under the continent. Bed Map 3 shows what Antarctica might look like without its 27 million cubic kilometers of ice. And it shows that there are tall mountains and deep canyons lying thick under the ice sheet.
Fucking hell.
Sure, Final Destination type movie.
Final Destination Antarctica.
They're bringing a new Final FD out, aren't they?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I got the thing for that. Looks quite good.
Yeah, Bloodlines does, yeah.
Watch, we'll see Roman Reigns in it. Off topic.
He's just gonna be in the background staring.
No, off topic. Because John Cena's in ill now. It'll be him who's causing all the deaths.
Yes. Actually, no. Do you know it will be? There'll be a little Easter egg. It's just going to be an eel with a green headband on it saying, "You can't see me."
I mean, I can't see this fucking map, so I don't know what they're on about. But honestly, so I'm going back on it, everyone. Let us know what you think is interesting about Antarctica and India, that they were once connected, and does it prove our thing about all the Pangea and everything? And also, another lost continent has been found, which is 140 million years old. It's been hidden beneath southern Europe. Researchers have uncovered a long-lost continent that has been buried beneath southern Europe for around 140 million years, known as Greater Adria. This vast landmass once stretched across what is now Europe and parts of the Middle East. And the discovery was made by a team from Utrecht University in Netherlands. The core of this discovery lies in the complex tectonic history of the Mediterranean region, where Greater Adria was gradually submerged beneath southern Europe's crust. And this continent was once as large as Greenland. And has since been buried deep under layers of rock. Alright, bro. Yeah. So basically,
I keep moving about and not sitting still, so I don't want to catch a glimpse of. Fuck's sake, I can't get comfy for some reason. It's doing me head in.
That's what the continent looked like. Look where it was.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know where Armenia was back then. We looked Bulgaria, Eurasia, America. It'd been easier to use as for cars nowadays, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If all the things were like this again.
Just think, imagine if it all stayed connected.
Yeah. I'm going to go to LA for the weekend. When are you going to be back? In 35 minutes. It's just down the road.
What the fuck?
Why on there, John?
I don't know. I'm not even touching my mouse. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you. It just kicked you out.
I know. I don't know what the fuck it's doing.
Weird.
I can't wait to get my new one, and then it'll stop with all this. Hang on, let me bring my stats up, see if it's anything.
Sorry for the technical difficulties on both ends of the creator.
I know.
Everyone.
Gets frustrating because then I can't do anything. Right, I'm just checking. Right.
Anyway, everyone, if you're enjoying this video, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. The remnants of this lost continent can be traced to a depth of 1,500 kilometers YouTube below the surface, where seismic waves continue to reveal its hidden presence.
Fucking hell.
That is nuts. There you go. It was gradually spread away as it was forced beneath Southern Europe's mantle, leaving behind remnants that now form part of the Alps, Apennines, the Balkans, Greece, and Italy.
Mm.
It began to form around 240 million years ago and eventually separated from North Africa over 200 million years ago.
It's not that long ago. It's only a couple of weeks ago.
About a week ago.
I'm surprised I'm still awake, to be fair.
Why?
Well, I haven't
Because
slept.
you're awake all day, ain't he?
Oh, yeah.
I told you supernova. There's a topic that we can talk about in the next thing that I just seen on this website about supernova. So I'll talk about that next time with everyone. So going back to these lost continents, I find that fascinating how different the world would have been if obviously the tectonic plates never done a shift on our thing and made it all break apart. You know what I mean? How different could we have been?
I think we'd be a lot different than we are today. Because I mean, think about it. We would have a lot more tech. There wouldn't be as many wars because it would obviously just be one giant super nation, obviously broken up into other nations like the Middle Eastern and Europe is. But I think it'd be a lot more calmer. Plus, I think people would be different as well.
Yeah, we'd all speak one language. I think. No offense to anyone. But I still think it'd be one language.
I think there'd be a couple of different languages, not as many as there are, like just a small handful. Like different parts of the continent speak different variations of the same language, if you get what I mean.
Yeah. So basically what you're saying is that we wouldn't have scouts. Yay! I'm joking, everyone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Joking for all the scousers out there. Don't get your knickers in a twist. Well, could you imagine it though for me and you, John, as football fans?
Yeah, I know.
I like West Ham going over to face some team in fucking Greater Adria. Oh yeah, well, it only take you about 2 days to get there.
Yes.
With my coach. I don't think you'd even have airplanes, to be honest. Because what would be the point of airplanes when the continent's all like that?
Yeah.
They'd probably be like, they'd probably have helicopters, but I don't think you'd have airplanes because of the.
See, I think planes would exist, but they wouldn't be as advanced as they are today. I think they'd still be prop planes.
What, like World War One kind of biplane things?
Sort of like World War II-ish kind of planes. Like the 1940s and 30s kind of planes. Because obviously, we wouldn't have need for jets, would we? Because it'd literally be a 3-hour flight. Boom, you're in like Greece or something.
Yeah.
Or a 1-hour flight. Bang, you're in Bangladesh.
Or a 2-hour flight and you're in some country which don't exist anymore called Nakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadak
into cans.
Oh my god.
No, but honestly, no, I'm not saying that they can really go in other countries. You don't know, do you?
No.
Like we obviously have Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and all that nowadays, but right then, you don't know what countries they would have had. Because countries wasn't even a fault back then, was it? It was just one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like sort of like how tribes are. We have this plot of land, you have that plot of land. Simple.
5,000 miles away is another group of far other people. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's kind of crazy, though, to think, though. Like I said, let us know in the comments, everyone, what you think. And would continents been better back then? Like, if everything get broken up, or do you prefer this broken up shell that we have now?
See, I'd think it'd be interesting because if you think you got obviously the UK, Australia, Japan, and a bunch of all like the countries that have their own government. Think of how it would be if they were all still connected. What government would there be?
True.
I mean, if you think, obviously I know this isn't exactly related, but the UK almost single-handedly took the entire world, but they gave up.
Yeah.
They got bored and decided to go to the Nether.
We got bored and decided, yeah, we've had enough fun.
Yeah, but obviously it'd be strange because obviously you'd like think there'd be one super like main government and then there'd be a bunch of sub governments.
Yeah, and not only that, would like that's funny out there now, everyone. Would America be as big as America is now with all the landmass? Or would they just be like us on this island, where like say London is on top of like Southend and fucking like Dover, and you know what I mean in that kind of context. Like it's like a 3-hour trip to like from here to London. Would it be the same for? Would it be the same for America back then? Like, would you be able to get from like New York to LA in 3 hours?
Imagine how long it would have taken for like someone to go from Boston to New York back then, like with carriages and all that. It'd probably take months.
I would say about 3-4 days.
What, on like horseback or carriage?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then again, you got to think of the rest days.
Unless if they didn't get robbed or whatever. It's kind of fascinating though, like
yeah, definitely.
the oddity, like I said, cars. How advanced would cars have been? Like if these continents were still like the same, they would like not like it now.
Yeah.
Would we have needed them to be as advanced, or would we just have needed them just to do like the Flintstone shit? One on the ground and just fucking like that.
Oh, good, thanks. Imagine the calluses you'd get. Yeah.
Would we have needed? What kind of invention wouldn't be made possible because of that? Boats, I don't think you'd need to do. Well, a couple of boats, yeah, but their ships wouldn't be done. Cruise ships, definitely.
I think it'd mostly be just like cargo vessels.
Yeah. God, could you imagine playing online with someone with a game? Oh yeah, I'm just talking to my mate in America. Why didn't you just go visit him? He's only a few days away, mate.
Think how easy though it'd be able to meet up with like your friends across the country.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're in America and you're in like Eurasia, and you're like, and it's like, and they say like it's 2.5 days to get there. You'd just be like, oh, you know what? Actually, yeah, oh fuck it, let's go and see them.
Yeah.
Now, if they're in America, you'd be like, I'll see you when I can get paid, and that's in about 5 years' time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Think of how different the jobs would be as well.
Yeah, what jobs would there be? Agriculture, I think, would still be an important one.
I was going to say there'd be lots more construction jobs. Obviously, with bigger landmass, you've got more room to build more houses and stuff like that, haven't you?
Yeah. And there wouldn't be as bad of a housing problem as there is.
Yeah, exactly.
And not only that, what kind of materials would we have?
We'd have
But what compound would we have not discovered if it wasn't for the thing?
Exactly.
But then again, a thing you also have to think of is Chernobyl, for example. How bad do you think that could go?
Would we have even had Chernobyl, though? Would we have even gone through the nuclear phase?
So, say each country stayed the thing, like they all kept their governments, but it was just one big landmass.
Right.
So all events happened. I think if Chernobyl were to happen, I think it would have had a much more catastrophic effect than it did.
Yeah.
Because we all would have been connected in a way.
Yeah, it would have had to travel just as far. I'd obviously think of the World Wars, for example. A lot more countries would have got involved due to the fact that there wasn't, because obviously Germany had to go through Poland to go forwards. They wouldn't have had to done that. They could have just gone dead straight.
Yes, yeah.
So obviously think of how much worse wars would have been, and wars could be.
Look at Vietnam.
Yeah.
And Gulf War and all that.
Yeah, I mean, it has its pros, but it also has just as many cons.
I would say it would have saved a lot of petrol though. For
but then again, if you think though, petrol prices would be through the roof. Because if you think, well, yeah, true. But I mean, if you think they'd want you to pay more, because obviously you're traveling a shorter distance. So when you eventually have to refuel, it would cost you like a fortune and shit.
Yeah.
Are you hearing any feedback from my side? Just asking.
No.
Just my little box is going funny and I'm not even saying anything much. You see it?
Are we supposed to hear something? Were we supposed to hear something?
Yeah, do you know when like you've got your camera off and then you've got like a grey circle that'll go bigger every time you speak?
Yeah.
Well, when I'm not speaking, I can still see it bouncing, but not as big.
I can't see anything.
Can you not see it highlighting around me, like the edge of my thing?
No.
No, there's nothing going around. Oh, there's a little bot at the bottom.
At the bottom, and then when you're looking at it on the right-hand side.
Yeah, if you look at the bottom of power, Shay.
No, I can't see anything.
Very subtle.
But you can't hear anything, no?
I can't hear anything.
No, right, that's all right then. I was just checking.
Yeah, but I also thinking of it, from my logical point of view, what would space travel been like? We would have managed got through it quicker than we did before.
Oh, that's the thing to think about. What about the Russian and American space race? That would be a lot different.
And China.
Yeah.
We won't include them. They weren't in the space race. They decided to join
they're trying to get into it now. They're trying to get into it now.
Yeah, they're only like what, 60 years late?
See.
Yeah, but I think like that as well. And paranormal active buildings and stuff like that. What would have changed? Like there's only so many paranormal active buildings out there, but how many of them would have existed Still.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Thing is that imagine earthquakes. They would be a
But I mean-
lot worse.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So if you think it's
Yeah.
just like one
Tsunamis.
giant plate,
Yes.
yeah, if we had a tsunami and it came from all sides, we're cooked. Unless you're living in the mountains. Little hobgoblins.
Oh, I took that offensively. Now behave. That's your last warning.
Well, yeah, but you technically didn't live in the mountains. You lived in valleys.
Same thing, isn't it?
No. See, when I say mountains, I mean like the big ones.
So like Norway and stuff like that.
No, bigger than
No,
Norway.
you mean like the Alps. You mean like the Alps and Everest and
Yeah,
shit.
like them kind of
Oh,
mountains.
right, okay.
See, I know, like some Vikings did live in mountains, but they weren't usually that high up. They weren't like near the peak. They were usually like near the bottom or middle.
Yeah, so it was easier to travel back down if the village.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get you.
Imagine the view though. Oh,
So
imagine the sunsets.
I wouldn't mind going. Do you know where they've I know we're going slightly off topic, Ray.
That's fine.
But do you know where they filmed Vikings?
Yes.
Roughly.
Well, where Kattegat is based, I'd love to. I think it's in somewhere in Ireland. I'd love to go there and see what it's like because it looks gorgeous.
Yeah. I even don't know the same area that they filmed Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But I agree with Shay. Imagine the sunsets and the fucking natural beauty you'd have.
Yeah. But then again, would we be able to see it because of obviously all the pollution?
Oh, true.
True. Yeah, we have Chinese levels of pollution, yeah. No, but honestly.
Yeah, I get your point. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're not wrong.
Stuff like that, like because they're so highly populated and massively
Yeah.
populated, you can't really see like stars and stuff.
Unless you go to like the mountain villages.
Not only that,
Yeah.
yeah, not only that, also, thinking of it in a further con, the earthquake that kind of broke up the piece of the world created unique scenery.
Yes.
What unique scenery would we have had without that?
Yeah, there'd be a lot less to actually see.
Mm.
Look at the Grand Canyon. When that meteor hit for the dinosaurs, for example. Because that's what the chain reaction for the chain reaction for the fucking breakaway.
Yes. Yeah.
If that never happened, we wouldn't have had the Grand Canyon, would we?
True. Right. So say for instance, how the world is currently, like all the events happened, instead of the world having split, say for instance, instead of splitting it went together again, if that makes sense. So obviously instead of everything gone on gobbledygook, it went the opposite. So like we'd still have the Grand Canyon, but imagine how weird that would be.
Yeah. Well, can you imagine if we had it all going on, but we didn't have the dinosaur wipe out?
No, fuck that.
We would have still have dinosaurs roaming today.
I'm good, thanks. I do not want a 60-foot
No, but honestly, we
lizard
still have dinosaurs
chasing me when I want to go for a bag of McDonald's.
I said we do have people these days that do look a bit like dinosaurs.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So I mean, we technically do live in a dinosaur era.
I know some people that are still dinosaurs. They don't even still use a landline number from 1930s.
Oh yeah, but then again, if it gets the job done, it gets the job done. Can't really complain, can you?
Yeah.
It's like cars.
Really.
People say, "Oh, your car is bad because it
yeah.
can't do what mine can." If it can get me from A to B, it's a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also like electricity and that, and music. What music would we have had? Well, if it was like that, what like us? We have these we have the 3-prong plugs, and America has the 2-prong plug sockets. Would we have all had one universal plug socket?
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit thing when you're coming about when you're going on about the 3-prong and stuff like that. Ours is down to regulation for safety. So obviously, you in America, you've got the 2-prong.
Yeah.
They still use neutral and neutral and live, where we use earth.
Mm.
So earth stops us getting a electric shock, or we'll still get one, but not as bad.
Mm-hmm.
Where when you see that they've got 2 prongs, they've literally got no safety.
Protection.
Yeah, there's no safety precaution there. If you were to get electrocuted, you were to get electrocuted.
Yeah.
As Shakespeare once said, to electrocute or not to electrocute.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Them words exactly. Nothing else was said. That's how I remember he said it.
I say that every time my blue and gold past a live shop. I go, to turn on or not to turn on.
That's his question.
That is the question.
It is with
Honestly, that's why there's so many questions, you know, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you think.
That's why there's so many questions, you know.
Yeah, because obviously there's different places with different systems. So how would that one work? Because obviously some places drive on the opposite side of the road, some places don't.
We drive on the right side of the road, just to let you know. Everyone else does it wrong.
Well,
yeah, I mean, the only reason America's changed is because they were trying to be different. And how did that go?
Exactly.
2001.
Oh my God! Shut up. We don't want to get monetized, man. Fuck's sake.
Well, what you said on Oops is a bit worse.
400 people are electrocuted in American homes per year, half of which are nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, because we only have the 2 conductors, neutral and live, where we obviously have the 3 neutral live earth. And we actually use RCBOs, which are another safety precaution, where if it detects a certain amount of voltage over what it's regulated as, it will trip the switch. So you might get a little bit of a shock, but it'll cut the electric to that set circuit, which is actually quite smart.
Yeah, it feels pretty smart.
And it stops, obviously, house fires and stuff like that.
Even though you can't deny it, things can always go wrong.
What John was on about in terms of safety precautions and shocks. Yeah, boy.
Yeah, it's true, but I say going back to everything like we were saying about them and electricity and obviously what like you said with jobs and everything. It's kind of fascinating in a way, like what could have been different, what was different would be different. Like Shay said with the government, would it be one big government or would it be like still the same now? Like mini governments in running their countries, and you know what I mean?
But in a way, we sort of do run on one big government. Yes, rules are different.
The United Nations technically do it.
Yeah, because you all meet up, don't you, and have talks on certain topics and stuff. So yeah, it is technically one big government.
Yeah, true.
But would the Queen or would King Charlie be in charge of everyone?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Would we have one big king?
Yeah.
Yeah, would we still have like the royal family?
Yeah. It does make you sit and think, though, doesn't it?
What could have happened? Yeah.
How things would have turned out.
And what advantage? I guess something actually questions where what advantage would have been made, but what would we have lost in the process?
Yes, yeah.
Like say, we found submarines, but would we have lost biplanes? You know what I mean?
And then started, because obviously Japan are very, very advanced in obviously their technology, and would we have had flying cars, and do you know when they were on about
Yeah.
ages ago, hoverboards where you could actually like hover off the ground. But
Like
then
in Back to the Future.
yes, but then on the other hand, would we have lost our natural parks and our like destination spots, like our
Beaches and
yeah, because it would have turned into like big massive factories.
We have beaches. I thought they were
yeah.
just I thought they were just rocks with a little bit of a pond at the end. Well, I mean that is what they are, though, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Close
But,
enough, yeah.
but technically, if you think about it,
Stuff off
everything
them.
would our oceans be different? Because I'm looking at it this way. Go to somewhere like the Caribbean and nice and blue and luscious and everything. You go to fucking Skegness or fucking Southend and they're fucking murky water.
Brown, yeah.
Yeah.
That does baffle me, that, you know. Like, you go to some coastal areas and like the water's murky, but then obviously you look at people abroad and their waters are crystal clear. It's like, how?
Yeah.
But
then
I guess
again, though,
I'm gonna say that they are less populated areas, really, aren't they? They're not like so. Like the UK, we've got a lot of factories and things like that, so that obviously pollutes our water. Where use Cuba and things like that, they're not really big factory known places, if that makes sense. So the pollution is minimal.
But then again, even the ones that are that big, they still have like near enough pristine water.
Yeah.
But it's like the thing is, though, you got to think, how long has the UK been dumping its waste into the Thames, which then eventually leaves into the water?
Beaches are always clear and blue, even.
Yeah. Then again, though, doesn't Australia use most of its like bio waste for like biofuel? I mean,
Yeah, they're like.
To be fair, they're probably one of the countries ahead when it comes to reusing.
Well, yes, yeah, very.
And then there's just us.
Obviously, I know they're not as advanced as like the likes of Japan, but like they're up there. And how they like reuse their fuels and stuff like that.
And it's also a fascinating thing, like and it's also a fascinating thing, like when going to Australia, the fascination of the whales and shit. Would we be like Europe with the euro and that have one big currency, or would we all still have all our currencies as it is?
Yeah, would it be one set value?
Yeah, it's like you need to think. Obviously, Japan's technologically ahead of most of the places, but when it comes to fuel-wise, they're probably not as far ahead. Yeah, because if you think Japan still uses nuclear power plants, and then there's Australia using bloody bio waste, which, to be fair, is actually pretty smart. Thing is, like with the UK, we can't really do that, can we? Because obviously how
small we are.
Yeah, and obviously how poop the weather is. Obviously, America.
That's another thing, though.
Probably.
Go on, bro. What are you gonna say?
That's another thing that Shay just mentioned there, and I just didn't think.
Go on.
Weather patterns.
Oh yeah, if we went as such as highly polluted, is it continent?
Yeah.
If we went so like thingy, because obviously back in the days, Birmingham was a factory town, and
Sheffield and
yeah.
I mean, think of London, for example. You couldn't go walking down a street without seeing a factory.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's like Sheffield, Birmingham, Manchester, all them.
Yeah. We were very factory orientated. Where if we weren't, I think we would have a lot nicer weather.
Yeah.
I mean, then again, though, if you think other than well, actually no, we were the first country to actually start the Industrial Revolution, and then obviously America followed suit. But where America's a lot bigger than us and have more resources than us, they were able to mass produce a lot quicker than us. So
But they
obviously,
also have
go on.
I know that America was also because of the landmass. And that's what I'm saying. If we were one supercontinent and the landmass wasn't as big, America would probably have been like us in with London, and that would have fucking the weather pattern. But if we didn't have that, the weather pattern would we have had like one big similar like say we had sun here, would it have been sun across all the entire supercontinent, or would it have just been like now like where it's separate like rain here and snowing, like you know what I mean? Or would we have just had one big similar pattern?
See, I think it would be
That's also
slightly.
fascinating.
Yeah, I think it would be slightly different because if you think Europe, for example, like that entire landmass, you could kind of consider it a supercontinent because if you think it's all connected, isn't it? There isn't really anywhere it breaks into ocean, I think, except obviously Japan. So obviously, if you think Russia's connected to Asia and Europe, obviously Europe's connected to the Middle East, and the Middle East is connected to Asia. So obviously, but if you think they have different weather patterns as well, but I think it wouldn't be as different. I think, say for instance, I don't know, we had sun. I think the next John's gone. I think like obviously the closest continents to us would also have sun, but obviously ones other than that wouldn't exactly have as much sun. So obviously I think
exactly
100% I think it would be a bit different, but I wouldn't think it would be as different, if you get what I mean. Like say for instance I'm just going to use an example, we're in the middle or like somewhere, and 2 continents over or like 2 countries over, they're having a hurricane. I think we wouldn't get as bad of a hurricane, but I still think we would get a hurricane. It just wouldn't be like as strong. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, it definitely makes you think, like.
It really does. It gets like one of them like tongue twisters, like where you got to try and say it. It's like this is just making you think. What if?
Yeah.
It'd be interesting, wouldn't it? And what would the vocabulary of language be? Like I said, would we have had a vast variety of words, or would we have just had the basic knowledge of words?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You say PC. Private chat. Shay looking confusion.
Yeah.
Confusion.
No. What it is? John has it Shay with confusion. It's Pokemon battle.
Bam, 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 bam. And then out of nowhere, the God of War theme just starts playing.
Hey, don't go doing that. That's Triple H.
Again.
Yeah, true.
And again.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, but that does make you wonder. Like, even with gaming, would we have got all the video game wars, or would everyone have been one big conglomerate and just said, "Fuck it, it is one big fuck off computer away from every fucking known thing," you know?
Yeah. Even then, cars as well. Cars would be different because obviously you've got German cars, BMW, Mini, and then you've obviously got the British cars, Aston Martins, Jaguars.
Yeah. Like, would there be as big of a difference?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then obviously you've got your Japanese cars, your Toyotas, your Nissans.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with a good Japanese car, though.
Can't go with a good Nissan Skyline GTR. No.
See, I'm close. I like my Nissan GTR R35s or the R34s. So we're very, very similar on that one. But then I've always liked my.
It's all right when.
Go on.
I also like the Mitsubishi Eclipse and the Subaru Impreza.
Oh my god! I was just about to say I
Right.
also like my Mitsubishi Evos and my Subaru Imprezas. You fuck's sake!
What about the I can never remember its actual name, but
Do
there
you
was a
remember-
Japanese
Right.
car, and it was only sold in Japan.
Or is it smart
Oh.
car?
No, it was another Nissan GTR, but I think it was a I can't remember what one.
You got one Marmite.
It was featured in Need for Speed Hot Pursuit.
Huh? Max, I'm fucking boiling.
Honestly, it does make you wonder on everything.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, right, well, I'm going to sign off this episode, everyone.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I'm going to let John comment a word tonight because I let Shay do it. What word should be the word be there if they watched all the way through?
Pineapple. Oh, we had something
All right,
similar to that
pineapple
before.
it is.
Nah,
No.
egg was the
No,
last one.
Shay chose.
Oh
Shay
yeah,
chose
it
egg
was.
last
Yeah,
night.
it was egg. Yeah.
But you were there.
Was
How do you know it was egg?
talk after this.
I
all right. Anyways, I'll sign off, everyone. Thanks for Shay and John turning up.
No, it's
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Thanks for having us.
yeah, it's a fucking honor to be here, bro.
Yeah, and shout out your stuff, Shay. Go on.
Go drop a sub, obviously, to John's channel. You know.
I don't even know
Well,
what this is.
technically, it's not
what
his
it is at
channel.
this point.
Technically, your channel is technically the one in chat.
Yes, yeah,
Mm,
yeah. Just hit that one up.
yeah. Can't forget about John. You know, this is our first live back in however many lives.
Yeah, it's been about 3 months. I'm joking.
I was going to say it's been about 7 lives.
Yeah. But obviously, I've got the channel here, and then there is also Eagle Vision Gaming, which I will be doing an introductory live in tomorrow, actually.
Yeah,
Well,
that's it. Friday, yeah.
Well,
Saturday.
yeah, John.
Mhm.
Today's Friday.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's because no, it's because Ray said Friday. I was like, no, Saturday.
But yeah, obviously, go drop a sub to that one if you want. Obviously, make sure you go drop one to John because you know he hasn't been here in a while, and obviously he deserves some love as well.
Yes.
he really does.
It will make him a very happy man.
Make
Yes.
a very happy puddy cat.
Cheers.
Poor John.
I know everyone's getting sent.
Yeah,
shot.
thank you, everyone. So, yeah, anyway. Go on, John.
No, I was just saying
Nah,
everyone's
not doing
been
that
getting
cheap
shots
shot
tonight.
shit. I ain't. Yeah, true. So yeah, if you watched all the way through, pineapple is a word, like the pineapple under the sea,
Mm.
like SpongeBob. So yeah, thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Hit the notification bell, otherwise I'm not going to miss out on great content like this for the rest of the year. And love and be kind, be amazing, and remember, if we are one big supercontinent, would we have really had great music? Think about it. Take care, everyone.
Leave your thoughts in the comments.